Welcome, my political friends of the interwebs. This is very, very interesting, at least to me. If you are of the political minded, which you probably are if you're watching this video, I'm going to throw some stuff out there. I'd like to hear some feedback from you because I think the Democratic Party is ready to implode. It's literally it's amazing. It's like a well, they're eating their own over there. It's been hijacked. I've said this for a long time. The Democratic Party has been hijacked by extreme left-wing nut jobs, people like Nancy Pelosi. But usually, for the longest time, you could count on the Democratic Party to be at least reasonable in the southern states. That's where the term blue dog Democrat came to mind. Now, these are Democrats who are pro-Second Amendment, pro-God, pro-Jesus Christ, pro-Christian, pro-life. These are Democrats that have a lot of the social values of more hardcore conservatives, but they consider themselves Democrats. They've been Democrats their entire life. Zell Miller comes to mind. They really do have more in common with the today's Republican Party than they do with the extreme left-wing nuts on the left that run the Democrat Party. So here's the interesting thing. This is what I find interesting, and I'm going to try to give some analysis to this, or at least some of my spin on this. In the state of Tennessee, the great state of Tennessee, they have a freshman senator named I think it's Bob Corker. Well, in the last Democratic primaries to choose a challenger to the sitting United States Senator Corker, Republican Corker, the guy that won, the guy that won the Democrats' race was a guy named Clayton. I think it's Mark Clayton. This guy is what we would have called a blue dog Democrat. In fact, on his website, I'll read this part. It says, the Clinton campaign's Facebook page champions three major positions. Strict adherence to the United States Constitution, which, by the way, is not a Republican issue. It's more of a constitutionalist issue. Family stances that are pro-life, which seemed to be a Republican position, but you know what? It's also a blue dog Democrat position. And keeping the country from turning into an Orwellian superstate. Okay, listen, the hardcore left would let you believe, or would like you to believe, that these are all hardcore right positions, but they're really not. Most Americans should want our government to adhere to the Constitution, whether you're a Republican or you're a Democrat. Okay, but to the extreme liberals, to the progressive left wing that has hijacked the party, the Constitution is nothing more than toilet paper. That's really all that is. It's more of they consider it an inconvenient speed bump on their way to an Orwellian superstate. So anyway, this Clinton guy, he wins the Democrats' nomination to run against Bob Corker, the Republican. Well, the Democratic Party has just came out, and they basically said they're not going to support this guy in the least bit. They're embarrassed of him. They don't agree with his stance. They call him everything from a homophobe to a racist to you name it. Okay, you name it. He doesn't toe the extreme left-wing, liberal, progressive line. That's what he doesn't do. In fact, the Democratic Party spokesman basically said they're going to try some legal maneuvers to get Clayton's name off the Democratic Party line in November. How ridiculous is that? He says this is what this guy says. He says the only option we are taking off the table in this situation, he said, is supporting Mark Clayton. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. Okay, the South is rife with blue dog Democrats. And, more often than not, they vote Republican, although they consider themselves to be Democrats. They consider themselves to be good Democrats. The thing of it is that their party, their Democratic Party, has left them. Their Democratic Party has went extreme left on them. They've been left by the left. They go to church on Sundays. Therefore, they're members of a hate group, as far as the left is concerned. If you go to a church on Sunday and you worship Jesus Christ, if you've accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, you are, as far as the left is concerned, as far as the progressives are concerned, you are part of a hate group. You are part of some kind of an evil organization whose sole purpose to exist is to basically kill people, or I should say to kill people, but to deny people their civil liberties, because you believe that a marriage is between one man and one woman. So, where does that leave the Democrats in the South, the blue dog Democrats in the South? In fact, let me put it to you this way. I think this transcends blue dog Democrat, if you want to know the truth. Because I think even your moderate Democrats in the South, well, hell, in the South, all over the country, your moderate Democrats are starting to become sickened by what they see as a hardcore leftist agenda. You know, I mean, to shove alternative lifestyles down everybody's throats. You know, and by the way, you know, I mean, I've been saying this for a long time. You know, your father's Democratic Party, your grandfather's Democratic Party is not your Democratic Party. And my suggestion to a lot of conservative Democrats is to show your Democratic Party exactly what you think by registering as a Republican. I know that the very thought of that for some people, because you're talking about generations of Democrats here. You know, generations of Democrats. And I understand that a lot of you are proud Democrats. But here's your options. Literally, here's your options. Your option is to leave the Democratic Party and register as a Republican or an independent, okay, a libertarian, whatever you want to do, because clearly the Democratic Party does not suit you anymore. Or your other option is to fight and take back your party. And I don't know how you do that. Other than start unelecting some of these nut jobs and let it be known, you know, gather together and take back your Democratic Party. Let it be known, look, we are not for your leftist progressive agenda. Do not think you speak for Democrats, because the majority of the Democrats don't feel this way. Nancy Pelosi, the minority leader, you know, Harry Reid, the majority leader. You know, the Democrats, the good Democrats, and there are lots of good Democrats, lots of them, you know, they're sickened by what's going on inside of their party now. But, you know, they're loyal people. They're very loyal to their party, but when left-wing nut jobs hijack your party, being loyal to them doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, your choices are to try to take back your party or leave your party. Either one. Those are really your only choices. Because if you vote for these left-wing nuts, you're basically telling them that you support their ideas. You support their positions. You know? I mean, these are the people, listen to me, these are the people who literally think Christians are a hate group. So if you're a Baptist or you're a Protestant, you're a hateful person. You are in a hate group. That's what to them, that's exactly what you represent. How much longer are you going to put up with this? That's a legitimate question. If you're a Democrat, a moderate Democrat, and you don't subscribe to the hardcore liberal nonsense that goes on in your party today, I want you to put in my comment section, how much longer are you willing to put up with this left-wing lunacy? I would just really like to know. And I'm not, you know, here's the thing. I'm not mad at you. I'm trying to help you out on this. I'm trying to shed some light on the situation. Because I see Democrats that I know do not go along with the hardcore left progressive mantra. I know Democrats, good Democrats. They're Democrats because, you know, their fathers were Democrats. And to them, you know, the Democratic Party looks out for the working man. Well, let me ask you a question. The Democratic Party looks out for the working man. I have you met a coal miner? You know, or you know what? Hey, I know a lot of you have heard me harp about the coal miners. Have you looked at your check lately? Have you seen what Uncle Sam's taken out of it? And have you looked around you and you looked at some of the things that the Democratic Party wants to do with your money, with your taxes? This is your taxes. You go to work, you bust your ass for 40 hours or more, And then the government takes a big swath of it and then does what? Gives it to these left-wing progressive nuts. Gives it, that. I don't even want to get off the beaten path with that. But, ultimately, what's going on in Tennessee right now is the Democratic Party is showing its true colors. Now, when I say Democratic Party, I'm sorry, let me qualify that by saying the Democratic Party's leadership, okay, the Democratic Party's leadership is showing its true colors. Wake up, Democrats. Your party's been hijacked by a bunch of progressive nutjobs. You need to do something. You would send a very powerful message if you all just left that party in droves. Or if you started voting some of these idiots out. I mean, seriously, voting some of these idiots out and telling them, by the way, that the reason you voted them out was because of their left-wing progressive nonsense. Stand up and take your party back. The Democratic Party used to be a decent party. I mean, I didn't agree with a lot of their stances. I didn't agree with a lot of their relationships with organized labor. But they weren't calling Christians hate mongers. They weren't trying to shove their a bizarre left-wing Orwellian, line of crap down everybody's throat. And don't let it be lost on you that, right now we live in a very unique time where there's going to have to be some decisions made. We've got, for God's sake, we've got, for the first time in my entire life, we've got a war on religion. A war on Christian religion, because it's still okay to be a Muslim. For the first time in my life, we've got what really amounts to a war on traditional values in this country. We've got a war on jobs. Coal miners come to mind, and related jobs. We've got we're facing. Oh, it's amazing. Listen, I'm already over 12 minutes. I'm not going to keep this going, but let me know in the comment section what you think about this. I'm going to leave a link to this article that I read, and yeah, it blows my mind, and I feel for the Democrats, the good, decent Democrats. I feel for you. Take your party back, please. Or you know what? My Republican Party is a big tent party. You're welcome over here. Everybody take care. See ya.